Good day, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports. Here we bring you the news, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program, as always, to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. We'll go through the highlights of today's reports. In headlines: 48 people, 50 cows killed in accidents in Niger State. Police schedule shooting exercise in Gombe. Governor delivers on healthcare promise. Tinubu's spokesperson quits. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll go straight into the details. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now we dive into the details of the stories for today. In the summary, analyst says zoning of political offices is not constitutional. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Air, a political analyst, Church Wali, said the political practice of making public offices a merry-go-round is one of the challenges confronting leadership and political delivery in the country.
Today, the councillorship is zoned from this community to this community based on seniority. And by the grace of God, when it gets to that community, if you are 20 that want to contest, they will call all of you and screen you, and whomever that emerges as a candidate should go. So, but I see the issue in Imo State to be issue that has to be treated now is in the public domain, but it's supposed to have been treated by the consultant today. The councillorship is zoned from this community to this community based on seniority. And by the grace of God, when it gets to that community, if you are 20 that want to contest, they will call all of you and screen you, and whomever that emerges as a candidate should go. So, but I see
Church Wali blamed the inability of constituency leaders to internally resolve the issues.
If the South was in charge of the chairmanship before this time, that means it doesn't have to count. It has to go to the north.
Go to the north. Whether the person in the state house is from
the north.
It doesn't
have to be consequential.
All right.
So they should allow the system play itself. They shouldn't bring in sentiment that would.
The political analyst's comment is coming as in view of the protests currently rocking the All Progressives Congress in Imo State over alleged imposition of chairmanship candidates ahead of the September 21st, 2024 council elections. In a different story, Ekiti State government says it is networking the state and building infrastructure to make the state a destination of choice for investors to promote investments. The Commissioner for Information, Taiwo Olatunbosun, said the state will leave no stone unturned in its bid to revolutionize mechanized agricultural development. Olatunbosun spoke in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, saying after a 2-day tour of completed and ongoing projects of Governor Biodun Oyebanji administration by members of the State Executive Council, alongside media executives, said the tour was carried out by the media professionals to communicate what they see on ground to the populace, to dispel possible misconceptions and insinuations, and also share insights on the development that led to the policy programs and projects embarked upon by the administration. The Commissioner for Works, Sola Adeboye, said the state government had mandated contractors handling its numerous road construction or rehabilitation across the state to keep to its stone-based policy and warned contractors against compromising regulated standards and quality, stressing that the state government and also ordered the contractors to ensure speedy completion of all projects in line with the scheduled dates in their letters of award. The Commissioner for Education, Dr. Adebimpe Aderiyi, said the administration was not focusing on infrastructure, but also on human capital development and empowerment, adding that over 2,000 indigent students across the 16 local government areas of the state had benefited from the state government conditional money transfer to assist them in their education. "48 people have lost their lives as a result of a petrol tanker explosion that occurred along Bida-Age-Lapai Road in Niger State. Alhaji Abdullahi Baba Ara, Director General of the Niger Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, disclosed this in statements in Minna on Sunday. He said the agency received a report of a deadly tanker explosion that occurred on Sunday at around 12:30 a.m. along Bida-Age-Lapai Highway. According to him, the scene of the disaster is 2 kilometers away from the Dendo community in Agai local government area. He said the incident occurred when a petrol tanker loaded with petrol, PMS, collided with a trailer truck loaded with travelers and cattle from Wadil in Kano State en route to Lagos. Baba Ara said 2 other vehicles, a crane truck and a pickup van, were also involved in multiple accidents. The Director General said the agency Rapid Response Team, RRT, and other local emergency management committees were still at the scene of the incident. He said that they were conducting search and rescue operations as more corpses were still trapped inside ill-fated trucks. The crash was due to the deployable state of the road and that the tanker fell and exploded, leaving the victims and over 50 cows burnt beyond recognition. The Niger State Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Kumar Tuskwan, who confirmed the crash to our correspondent yesterday, said the accident was a result of speed limit violations and loss of control. He said in his account that 37 people out of the 55 people, all males, that were involved died and that 18 were injured. He said, quoting him, "The tanker from Lagos on transit to Kano, loaded with fuel, was on top speed. It lost control, fell down, and was engulfed with fire. Another trailer that conveyed cows and humans and 2 other vehicles were affected. A resident of Agai, Abubakar Age, who said he attended the burial of the victims, said 45 corpses were buried in Manworo village." Another source, Yahya Mohammed, said, quoting him, "The tanker fell and caught fire. The drivers of the other 2 vehicles, a passenger vehicle and a trailer loaded with goods and humans, saw the fire, wanted to pass and fell victim." Another witness, a third one, said 2 other vehicles were coming from Agay market with goods and got involved. In total, 4 vehicles were burnt and the people involved were more than 30. But we don't know the number of the cows involved. In a statement by Bologi Ibrahim, the chief press secretary of Governor Muhammad Umaru Bago, described the incident as painful. He said that the governor called for calm while enjoining road users to always be cautious and abide to road traffic regulations to safeguard lives and property. Due to the incident, the governor prayed that Allah repose the souls of the departed and grant quick recovery to the injured. Meanwhile, on May 24, the Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria launched a stakeholders initiative involving the Depot and Petrol Product Marketers Association of Nigeria, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Workers, and other key players to identify and resolve factors responsible for petroleum tankers crashing and exploding. The company's executive secretary, Clement Isong, said the analysis of several petroleum tanker-related crashes over the past 4 months in 2024 showed that they were caused by factors such as bad roads, infrastructure, inexperienced drivers, and lack of proper truck maintenance. He said, quoting him, "Issues included drivers, mental alertness and attitude. Some trucks were fully loaded up to 60,000 liters, far exceeding safer limits. Inadequate maintenance practices led to mechanical, which is brake failures." Away from that, Gombe State Police Command has announced that police officers from the Police Force number 34 Squadron in Kwami will conduct a one-day shooting exercise at the Small Arms Range in Liji, Yamautu, Deba local government area on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024, from 9:10 a.m. to 10:10 a.m. for an hour. ASP Buhari Abdullahi, the police public relations officer, made the public aware of the planned exercise in an official statement. Residents in the Liji area and nearby villages were strongly advised to stay away from the vicinity during the scheduled training and not to be alarmed by the sound of gunfire. He added that the Commissioner of Police, CP Hayatu Usman, expressed gratitude for the continuous support, cooperation and prayers of Gombe State residents. Commissioner of Police, Kwara State Police Command Victor Olaya, commercial transport operators in the state to uphold peace as the government works to improve the economic situation in the country. The appeal followed a protest by transport operators in the state, including drivers of commercial taxi cabs, tricycle operators, and motorcycle riders. The riders, who demonstrated against the recent fuel price increase in Ilorin, the state capital, were asked to keep calm. Olaya, who met the representatives of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Road Transport Employees Association of Nigeria, and Motorcycle Operators Union of Nigeria, added with Tricycle Owners Association of Nigeria at the command headquarters in Ilorin, urged them to maintain peace in the state. According to a statement released on Sunday and signed by DSP Ejire Adeyemi Tung, Police Public Relations Officer, Kwara Police Command, said the meeting also included Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, Senior Special Assistant on Security to the State Governor, and Aliyu Muyudin, and advised the transport operators to uphold peace in the state. The meeting continued to admonish the transport unions to uphold peace, always emphasizing that Kwara State is known for its harmonious, peace-loving nature, and reassured the unions that the federal government is acting actively to address the current economic situation to improve the lives of all Nigerians, including those of the state. Do not forget, we are open for advert placements, booking and commercials. You can connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok Atlantic TV Network 1, X, formerly known as Twitter, at Atlantic TV/net, which is live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Analysts have urged the federal and state government to tackle flooding during the rainy season. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program, a public affairs analyst, Ikechukwu Edenkwo, stressed on the need for sustainable preparations ahead of the impending flood across the country.
Which arrangement or alternative arrangement are you making for these people? Are you telling them to relocate just to highland, to stay under open heavens, or there should be some camps where these people will move to, so that within that period there should also be some form of relief, there should also be some sort of incentives that should be given to them, because first, their source of livelihood is gone. Secondly, if you know children that are in school, you make provision for small school environment so that the children will also be part of the academic calendar no matter how small. In Senate claims, they make provisions for this.
Ikechukwu also advised the federal government on intervention against flooding.
Some form of security and medicals, because at the end of the flood, they'll come with some reptiles and other things that will not go back with the flood. So the place should be adequately fumigated, well taken care of. But the most important thing, there must be security of lives and property.
This is coming following the heightened fears among residents and stakeholders in Adamawa State over the return of a fresh wave of floods. The state government has directed the residents that settled along waterways to relocate to higher lands. In Zamfara State Governor Daud Alawal has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to ensure that projects of utmost importance are given the highest priority. Lawal made the commitment while inaugurating the renovated General Hospital in Maru local government area. This is according to the statement on Sunday by the spokesperson to the Governor, Suleiman Idris. The statement noted that Lawal administration is in the process of renovating and equipping all the general hospitals across the state. It added that while inspecting the infrastructure and the advanced medical equipment provided at the Maru General Hospital, Governor Lawal stated that his mission was to provide a state-of-the-art healthcare environment that caters to the needs of the people by ensuring that quality medical services are accessible and affordable to all. He said, quoting him, "The renovation works carried out in this hospital included upgrading the facilities to ensure that the people of Maru and its environs have access to decent healthcare. The renovation have modernized the physical structure and integrated advanced medical technologies and systems. This holistic approach ensures that the General Hospital Maru is well equipped to handle various medical conditions from routine checkups to complex surgeries. The staff in this hospital are now better equipped to deliver care services that meet the highest standards. Our mission in the state is to provide a state-of-the-art healthcare environment that helps people by ensuring that quality medical services are available and affordable to everyone." Aside from the renovation, this project includes providing 39 kilowatts solar power to ensure a reliable power supply to the hospital, which is crucial for the continuous operation of medical equipment and the comfort of patients. Added to the 24-hour supply, 35 street lights have been installed at various locations of the hospital and the premises and its surroundings to ensure and enhance security and visibility, making the hospital environment safer for everyone. I sincerely hope that the people of Maru and the entire Zamfara state will fully utilize these facilities. I have directed the Ministry of Health to take adequate measures to maintain the hospital and its continuous operation. In Kano, the government has postponed the resumption for primary and post-primary schools for the 2024-2025 academic session. The postponement is coming after the government had earlier said schools were to resume on September 9, 2024. Statement released by the Director of Public Enlightenment, Minister of Education, Kiru Balaribe, quoted the Commissioner of Education, Umar Dogowa, explaining that the decision to postpone the resumption date was due to some reasons that were urgent, adding that a new date for resumption would soon be announced by the ministry. The statement also appealed to both students, parents and guardians to bear with any inconvenience the postponement might have caused. Former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, says the relentless killings, maiming and displacement of innocent Nigerians are a clear indication that the nation's current security architecture is failing. Obi urged the Nigerian government to acknowledge the reality and take bold steps by declaring war on insecurity before it consumes the country entirely. This statement from Obi comes on heels of the horrific killings of several people in Mafia, Tarmuwa local government area in Mafa village in Yobe State. Obi made this post on his X handle when he said the heinous act of violence is a stark reminder of the gravity of the nation's insecurity and the security situation. In a different story, Ajuri Ngelale, the spokesperson for President Bola Tinubu, embarked on an indefinite leave of absence on Saturday, September 7th. Although he said he was stepping down to attend to health matters, a new report disclosed that the journalist no longer had the confidence of his principal, allegedly leading to his decision to quit. Before his adventure in the presidency, where he worked with former President Muhammadu Buhari and Tinubu, Ngelale was a reporter and presenter with different news outlets. Ajuri Ngelale announced that he was stepping aside from his job as the official spokesperson of President Bola Tinubu and the Special Presidential Envoy on Climate Action, announcing that he was proceeding on an indefinite leave of absence on Saturday, September 7. Ngelale said it was for health reasons in the nuclear family. ATN gathered that there is indeed a medical issue in his family, but it was not the primary reason for his decision to step aside. The immediate trigger, according to reports on Sunday, September 8, was the writing on the wall that his days were numbered. Reports said Ngelale no longer had unfettered access to the president. An insider divulged, saying, Ajuri was asked to pick between presidential spokesman and climate change ambassador. He said he should be allowed to think over it. He came back to pick presidential spokesman, but he was told that he would need supervision as it was obvious he needed help. The help he needed had been constantly highlighted to President Tinubu, some of which included mistakes in his press statements. Sources said, firstly, he wrongly announced in September 2023 that Tinubu was the first African president to ring the closing bell at NASDAQ. Secondly, he prematurely announced the decision of the government of the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, to lift the visa ban on Nigeria. The government was particularly embarrassed by the media backlash on each occasion of these reports. President Tinubu accepted the decision of his special advisor on media and publicity, Ngelale, to proceed on an indefinite leave of absence due to his family's health issues. In a statement released on Saturday evening, September 7, the presidency said Tinubu sympathized with the circumstances leading to Ngelale's decision. The presidency stated that Tinubu accepts Ngelale's decision for the leave and hopes for a speedy recovery and full restoration to health. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also thanked Ngelale for his remarkable contributions in advancing national discourse and leading efforts in climate action. He further went to say that Ngelale had taken an indefinite leave of absence due to family health issues. The president accepted Ngelale's decision, sympathized with his circumstances, and thanked him for his contributions to advancing national discourse and climate actions efforts. The presidency requested that Ngelale's privacy and that of his family be respected during this period, but has not announced a replacement for his position. Reports that Ngelale announced on Saturday, September 7, that he would be taking an indefinite leave of absence to address medical matters affecting his immediate family. In a statement released on Saturday evening, the presidency said Tinubu sympathized with the circumstances leading to Ngelale's decision. Tinubu thanks Ngelale for his contribution. The presidency stated that Tinubu accepts Ngelale's reasons for the leave and hopes for his speedy recovery and full restoration to health. The presidency also thanked Ngelale for his remarkable contributions in advancing national discourse and leading efforts in climate change. He went on to say that no other person has been picked to replace him for this position. There was no word on who would replace Ngelale due to his leave or if a replacement would be named. The president has received the memo from Chief Ajuri Ngelale, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, an official spokesperson of the president, as well as special presidential envoy in climate change. Informing of his decision to proceed on an indefinite leave of absence for personal and health reasons, the President accepts his leave and fully understands and sympathizes with the circumstances which seemingly puts them in a difficult situation. You're watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back. This is Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Nigerian Army has explained why it regularly publishes the names of soldiers it disengages from the service. It said soldier disengagement from service is routine and in line with laid-down procedures. Nigerian Army made the clarification in a statement yesterday in Abuja by its spokesman, Major General Oyema Nwachukwu. The explanation came on the heels of a report alleging mass resignation of soldiers due to poor welfare and corruption. But Nwachukwu described the allegations as false, unfounded, and a deliberate attempt to sow seeds of disaffection and acrimony, as well as denigrate the patriotic service of personnel and reputation of Nigerian Army. He added, consequently, it is crucial to clarify that service in the Nigerian Army, like most militaries the world over, is voluntary and not conscriptive. This therefore provides that individuals are free and at liberty to disengage at will. The situation is the same as the Nigerian Army personnel are at liberty to disengage from time to time in accordance to laid down procedures as contained in the harmonized terms and conditions of service, officers and soldiers alike. Discharge from the Nigerian Army is routine and in line with laid down procedures. Only in an organized army would the discharge of personnel be handled haphazardly. Hence, the compilation and release of names routinely, as must have been observed in the case of the Nigerian Army over the years, this process allows for personnel who are about to either mandatory or voluntarily disengage to adequately prepare and process entitlements, emoluments, pensions, and gratuity for the period of service to the nation. In the instance cited in the hasty and haphazardly compiled reports, due diligence was not taken to ascertain the reasons for the discharge of the personnel, other than spurious allegations of low morale and corruption. In a different story, about 61 foreign nationals were deported by the Nigerian Immigration Service from Nigeria in August 2024. This was part of the new visa policy, which facilitated a total of 8,352 visas on arrival for travelers in the month under review. In the report, the reason for deporting the foreign nationals was to address the issue of irregular migration in the country. And it is the first time the immigration would be deporting foreign nationals from the country. This is coming after between 2020 and 2022, over 70 foreign nationals were deported from the country. Kano State government has indefinitely postponed the resumption for both primary and post-primary schools for the 2024 academic session. The government cited urgent reasons for the postponement, but did not provide specific details. The decision follows a similar move by the Edo State government, which also postponed school resumption due to rising petrol prices and challenges faced by parents and guardians. Schools in most parts of Nigeria are set to resume on Monday, September 9. Balaribe Kiru, Director of Public Enlightenment in Kano State Ministry of Education, announced the postponement in a statement on Saturday. He explained that the Commissioner for Education, Umar Dogowa, would announce a new resumption date soon. Kiru stated, "I wish to inform pupils and students and parents that the previously scheduled resumption dates of September 8 and 9, 2024 have been postponed. This decision is based on urgent reasons aimed at enhancing the learning environment of our children. A new date will be announced for the resumption dates and will be communicated in due course." Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, on Monday debunked claims that the rate of value-added tax, which is VAT, has been upwardly adjusted to 10% from 7.5%. In a statement on Monday, Edun clarified that the current VAT rate, as stipulated in the country's tax laws, remains at 7.5%. He said, "The current VAT rate is 7.5%, and this is what the government is charging on a spectrum of goods and services to which is applicable by tax. Therefore, neither the federal government nor any of its agencies will act contrary to what our law stipulates. The tax system stands on a tripod, namely tax policies, tax laws, and tax administration. All three of these tripod stands must combine well to give us a sound system that gives vitality to the fiscal positioning of the government. Our focus as a government is to use fiscal policy in a manner that promotes and enhances strong and sustainable economic growth, reduces poverty, as well as makes businesses flourish. The imputation in some media reports on issue of VAT and the opinion articles that have sprouted from them seem to wrongly convey the impression that the government is out to make life more difficult for Nigerians. That is not correct. If anything, the federal government has, through policies, demonstrated that it is committed to creating a congenial environment for businesses to thrive. In fact, it is on record that the federal government, as part of efforts to bring relief to Nigerians and businesses, recently ordered the stoppage of import duties, tariffs, and taxes on rice, wheat, beans, and other food items. He continued saying, for emphasis, as of today, VAT remains 7.5%, and that is what will be charged on all the goods and services that are VAT-able, Edun concluded. National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has said floods have killed 201 persons in 15 states across the country so far this year. The affected states that were hindered by floods were Kano, Jigawa, Bayelsa, Bauchi, Adamawa, Taraba, Zamfara, Sokoto, Yobe, Ebonyi, Katsina, Niger, Borno, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. NEMA said Kano State recorded the highest number of deaths, followed by Jigawa, Bayelsa, and Bauchi. Details of deaths recorded in each of the states are 35 people died in Kano due to floods, 34 died in Jigawa, 25 in Bayelsa, 23 in Bauchi, Adamawa recorded 15 with Taraba, Zamfara went up to 13, Sokoto recorded 12 deaths from floods, Yobe recorded 10 deaths, 7 people died in Katsina from floods, 5 in Niger, 2 in Borno, 2 in Ebonyi State, 2 in Kaduna, and 1 in Nasarawa. The floods, according to NEMA National Emergency Operations Center's dashboard, have affected a total of 611,201 persons across 29 states and 154 local government areas. The raging waters displaced 225,000 persons, affected 83,457 houses, 2,119 persons injured, and destroyed 115,000 hectares of farmland. The agency recently warned of impending floods in Benue, Kogi, Anambra, Delta, Imo, Rivers, and Bayelsa states. The agency advised other states in the central and southern parts to prepare ahead of potential floods that may soon affect communities downstream. The agency recently warned of impending floods in Benue, Kogi, Anambra, Delta, Imo, Rivers, and Bayelsa, saying that floods might come to them. It advised other states in the central and southern parts to prepare ahead of potential floods that may soon affect communities downstream. Kaduna Zonal Directorate of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned one Ibrahim Shuaibu before Justice Darius Kobo of the Kaduna State High Court, sitting in Kaduna, for fraud. According to a Monday statement on EFCC's X.com handle, Shuaibu is facing prosecution on a 7-count charge, including criminal breach of trust, impersonation, and obtaining by false pretense amounting to 100 million naira. Count 1 of his charges reads that you, Nuhu Ibrahim Shuaibu, aka Ishaku Abdulrazak M, and Ilaya Garba, now deceased, sometime in 2017 in Kaduna, within the judicial division of this honorable court, did conspire between yourselves to do an illegal act, to wit, obtaining money under false pretense, and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 8, subsection A of the Advance Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006, and punishable under Section 1, subsection 3 of the same act. Another charge read that you, Nuhu Ibrahim Shuaibu, with aliases, sometime in 2018 at Kaduna, within the judicial division of this honorable court with intent to defraud obtained the total sum of 47 million naira from one Faisal Safiya Nu, when you claim to supply him with petroleum products, which pretends you knew to be false and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 1, subsection A of the Advance Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006 and punishable under Section 1, subsection 3 of the same Act. Philip Shuaibu pleaded not guilty to all the charges when they were read to him, prompting the prosecution counsel, M. Lawal, to urge the courts to fix a trial date. His counsel, Abdul Karim Audu, failed to file a bail application. Justice Koba afterwards ordered the defendants to be remanded to the custody of the EFCC. Shuaibu's path to prosecution began in 2017 when he falsely represented himself as the group executive director to help his victim acquire over 2,000 liters of petroleum products. The victim subsequently transferred the agreed payment to Shuaibu's bank account in installments. However, after receiving the funds, Shuaibu neither delivered the products nor refunded the victim's money. And this is where we call it a wrap on this edition of Government and Public Service Reports in the city of Port Harcourt. It has been a pleasure. I am King David Obasi. Stay connected to us on all our socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, formerly known as Twitter, atlantictv.net, or just live on our website, atlantic/net/tv.network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. Up next is International Tidbits. Stay with us.